Hi students, a very pleasant and warm greetings to you all. I'm Janisha Imansi. I'm happy to handle computer application for you in this year. And today we are going to start our first chapter, that is Introduction to Computers. Okay, here in this first chapter you are going to know about computers. You are going to learn various generations of computer and to understand the basic operations of computer. And you will also know about the components and their functions. And you will know to boot a computer also. Okay, let's see the introduction. Today, if you see, computers are present everywhere, right? It can be used in education. Now, we are sitting in your home and listening to the class. This is done using a computer, right? We are taking a video and we are uploading it using computer, using internet, and you are able to watch this video through mobile or maybe laptop or computer or anything. So, it plays a vital role in education. You know it, right? And not only in education, in research, travel, tourism, to find out the weather condition, in social networking, in doing commerce, e-commerce, that is buying and selling of goods through online. For all these purposes, these computers are playing a major role, right? Here now computers have become an indispensable part of our lives. We cannot be without using the networks or without using the smartphone, without using a computer, right? So here with now computers have revolutionized our lives with their accuracy and speed of performing a job. Right here, whatever work we do, we may find some difficulty in doing it fast, or sometimes we may make some mistakes there. But in case of computer, whatever big calculation you give, their accuracy will be 100%. That means there will be no error in calculating any big number. And the performing speed also will be much more than us, right? So most of us will be preferring calculator or computer than to do the calculations by our own, right? So today no organizations can function without a computer, right? In fact, many organizations have become paperless also. Everything they are entering inside computer only. They won't be filing any papers physically. They'll be just scanning or downloading the documents from online, and they'll be saving it inside in computer itself. Right? Computers have evolved over the years from simple calculation till high speed portable computers. Now we are having laptop, tab, and all. We can just take it like a mobile, and we can just take it around, and we can work from anywhere. Right now, work from home is also possible. The growth of computer industry started with the need for performing fast calculations. For doing the fast calculations only, first of all, this calculator or the first computer was invented. Okay, the manual method of computing was slow and prone to errors. So attempts were made to develop fast calculating devices. The journey started from the first known calculating device, that is abacus. Okay, you would have heard about abacus, which lead us today to an extremely high speed calculating devices. Abacus was the first calculating device, and with that only, that was the basic thing to invent a high speed calculating device which is present today. Okay, so before finding this good devices, so many attempts have been done. So in so many attempts, they have failed, and they have done so many test procedures, and they have got the good high speed calculating device. Okay, now let's see this generations of computer. Generations means the growth of the computer industry is determined by the development in technology, right? First of all, if you take a mobile phone also, first and all, if you see, only button phones are there without display. Then color display came. First black and white display only was there. Only the number or only a small clip art will be visible there. And then color display was there. And then networking was added there. After that, touch screen was there. We have to touch with the pencil like tip will be there. With that tip only you have to operate it. After that, we can just operate it with our hand. And nowadays, if you see, we have like projectors. It means only a bracelet or a bangle like thing will be there. If you on that, the display will be shown in your hand or in the screen. You can just operate it there. Right, so that much advancement has been done, and more advanced techniques are being tested, and soon we'll get it for our use also. So, based on the various stages of development, these computers can be categorized into the different generations. Let's see the first generation. Okay, the first generation means it is in 1940 to 1956. The main component used was vacuum tubes. Okay, vacuum tubes means it will have a tube-like structure filled with vacuum. Okay, and we'll see the merits and demerits of that generation also. Okay, big in size. Vacuum tubes means it will be like it will just cover up a whole room. Okay, it was so big in size, it consumed more power. Nowadays also, if you use the advanced things, it will consume only less power. If you take the older things, maybe a washing machine or maybe a grinder or mixie, anything, when you use the older ones, it will consume more power and then malfunction due to overheat. Sometimes, if you see some old devices, once if it is heating up, it will stop working, or it will just stuck in between. So these things may happen due to overheating. And in this, only machine language was used. Machine language only was used. If you have to give some instruction also, we have to give it in machine language only. It cannot convert our language to machine language. So that is the first generation. First generation is 1940 to 1956, right? And from 1956 to 1964, it was second generation. First generation computers means ENIAC, ENIAC, EDVAC, UNIVAC 1. This ENIAC means that weighed about 27 tons. It was about 27 tons. That means it's about 8 feet into 100 feet. That means width, height and thickness they are saying 8 feet into 100 into 3 feet, and it consumed around 150 watts of power. So it consumed a lot of power, and that was the major disadvantage there. And so they have advanced some more technologies, and in the year 1956 the second generation transistor was invented. And let's see the merits and demerits of this transistor. This is the transistor. Okay, transistor is the second generation computer. Here in the second generation computer, when you compare it with the first generation, this is little smaller than the first generation. And when you are comparing it with first generation, this generated less heat, and also it consumed less power than the first generation. Punched cards were used. Punched cards means it's like a stamp. Now we are using some seals, right? Seal. Like that, punched cards were used. First operating system was developed here during the second generation. That is 1956 to 1964 only. Here, batch processing and multi-programming operating systems were used. Okay. The first operating system here used in second generation, that is with the transistor in the year 1956 to 1964. Here they used batch processing and multi-programming operating system. Okay, and here machine language and also assembly language was used to communicate with the computer, and they have taken the output, right? So here second generation computer means IBM 1401, IBM 1620, UNIVAC, that is UNIVAC 1108. These are all the second generation computer. Okay, and then to the advancement of the second generation, from 1964 to 1971 they used the third generation computers. Third generation means it used IC is integrated chips or integrated circuits. Integrated circuits will be there. These are smaller, faster and more reliable when compared to second and first generation. Okay, and this consumed less power than the second generation, and high level languages were used. That means it can understand the language which we give, and it will just convert it to machine language, and it will process it, and again it will convert back to the high level language, and it will give us the output as we give. Okay, so here this third generation computer, that is from 1964 to 1971, they used the third generation computers, that are IBM 360 series, Honeywell 6000 series also. Okay, and then after 1971 till 1980, fourth generation computers were used. First, we saw that the component was vacuum tubes. In second generation, it was transistor. And third generation, it was IC, that is integrated circuits. And in fourth generation, here comes the microprocessor. Okay, so this microprocessor plays a vital role in today's computer also. If you see, this microprocessor was launched in this fourth generation, that is in 1971 to 1980. This microprocessor is the VLSI, that is very large scale integrated circuit. Okay, third generation we use integrated circuits. Here very large scale integrated circuits are used in fourth generation. Here it is from 1971 to 1980. Okay, so here the merits and demerits are, it was a little smaller than the other first, second and third generation computers, and it was faster also. Okay, microcomputer series like IBM, Apple, these and all were developed in this fourth generation only. Okay, IBM, Apple and all was developed during this fourth generation, that is 1971 to 1980. Okay, portable computers are also invented in this fourth generation, that is 1971 to 1980 only. The portable computers were first involved. Okay, and then comes the fifth generation that now we are using, that is from 1980 to till date. Now we are using it, ultra large scale integration, ULSI. That means it's like robotics. Okay, robotics and all you have seen. It will have a parallel processing. Parallel processing means when you can do one work, when you are giving the input, it will be processing, and at the same time you can just parallelly that processing will be done. At the same time you can give the input of one set data can be given, one set data will be processed, and another one set of data will be giving the output. Like this, parallel processing is possible. Superconductors are used. Computer size was drastically reduced. First generation, if you see, those vacuum tubes filled up the whole room. Here, if you see this computer, nowadays we are using it, right? So these computers are just, it's like a box, right? So that size was drastically reduced here in this fifth generation, and this computer can recognize images and graphics also. And it introduction of artificial intelligence and expert system. Here in a computer you can just search using an image or graphics. It can identify or recognize the image, graphics and all. Artificial intelligence was fed into the computer and it starts working like us, right? Artificial intelligence and expert systems, this robots and all are invented, right? So this robotics and all, we'll say it as AI, that is artificial intelligence with expert systems. Okay, and these computers are able to solve high complex problems, including it's like decision making, logical reasoning. These and all are also fed into the computer, and that computer can make a decision, and it can do the logical reasoning process also in this fifth generation, that is 1980 to till date. Okay, and then comes the sixth generation. Sixth generation means it is the computers which will be used in future. Here the man will be able to communicate with robotics, and the robotics with the hell robotics, the artificial intelligence or the robots will be able to communicate with man, right? This is the sixth generation. Here parallel and distributed computing are done. These computers have become smarter, faster, smaller also. This is the development of a robotics part. Okay, the sixth generation is the place where The robotics are developed for all the works, for all, maybe for kitchen works, maybe for washing a dress, maybe for grinding a thing, maybe for doing some homeworks, for everything. Artificial intelligence, these robots are invented. So the development of robotics are done here in sixth generation. Okay. This natural language processing is also done. Natural language processing in the sense normal. We can just speak in our language and it will be just heard by the computer or by the system, and it will just work according to it. Okay. The instructions can be given in natural language, in our voice itself. And development of voice recognition software. Nowadays also in our mobile, in TV, in computer and all, we have uh, search options with voice, right? Voice search is there. That means you have to enable the speak and mic. We can just, if you are just saying search flowers, means flowers will be searched in a browser and you will get the images there. So, development of voice recognition softwares are also used. Okay. So, these generations of computer is the main thing first in this first chapter. First you have to learn this generations of computer question. Okay. So today I'm not taking much, only the generations of computer. Here you'll have to learn. Just read out the introduction of computer and learn this generations of computer. In most of the exams, this will be asked for a 5 mark, or sometimes it may be asked for 2 marks, 3 marks also. They may ask, write down the merits and demerits of second generation. Write the merits and demerits of sixth generations. Like that, if they are asking, you have to write only the merits and demerits of the particular generations. Or you can, if they are asking the whole generations of computer for 5 mark, means you can write the whole thing from first generation till sixth generation. Okay, so first generation means the time period is from 1940 to 1956. Here the main component used was vacuum tubes. Second generation means 1956 to 1964, and the main component used here was transistor. And the third generation, 1964 to 1971, the main component used here is integrated circuits, that is IC. And then fourth generation is from 1971 to 1980, microprocessor, that means VLSI, very large scale integrated circuits were used. In fifth generation, it is 1980 to till date, ULSI, ultra large scale integration. And then sixth generation is in future, that is communication between our brain and the um, robotics. Okay, so you make thorough of this particular chapter before attending the next session. Okay, this generations of computer is a very important question. In every exams, you can expect this generations of computer. And one more question is there in this first chapter. That is the basic components of a computer. Either one will be there. Sometimes this both questions may come in choice. So if you are learning this one question, generations of computer, it will be useful for you in all your exams. This will be useful for you to know more about computer also. If you are knowing this, you will be feeling like, oh, this is the start of the computer. From this only the computer was launched. Like that you will get a clear idea. Now if you are not learning also, now you read the particular this portion, generations of computer part, at least 4 or 5 times, so you will be finding easy to learn when you are learning. Okay, when you are spending the time to learn, you just learn this thoroughly and write it and see. When you are writing for the exam also, you must put tabulations like this, and you have to separate it for the separately, like a serial number, generation, period, main components used, merits and demerits. Likewise, you have to specify the classify the all the tabulations, and you have to write it accordingly as it is in the book. Okay, don't write like a paragraph, don't put the first generation and down, don't write point wise. If you are drawing the table like as they have given in the book only, you will be able to score full marks. Okay, so when you are writing, you must keep in mind that we have 6 generations, so you will have 6 rows, and in each rows you will have to write the year, that is period, and then main component used. You don't have to draw that, you can just mention the names: vacuum tubes, transistor, integrated circuits, microprocessor, VLSI, ULSI, and in future you can just write it there like brain, human brain and robotics, like that you can write, and you can put arrow for them. In between that you can put a arrow, and instead of this diagram you can just write robotics and human brain. Okay, so all this columns must be there: generation, serial number, generations, period, main component used, merits and demerits. Okay, are you clear? If you have any doubts in this generation portions, you can just reach me through WhatsApp. Okay, thank you for your valuable time. Stay home, stay safe, take care, bye.